Hello! Welcome to my guide on Lightning Sorcerer and Telekinetics Sage. You can see here I'm on my Lightning Sorcerer. Sorry for all you Sage players, but that's the one I have right now. It's what most people play. So we'll be using my Lightning Sorcerer as a demonstration here. As a brief disclaimer, I am not an expert on Lightning Sorcerer. I just know enough about the class to hopefully teach you the basics and help you understand what's happening in the spec, what you need to be paying attention to, etc. So let's dive into it. Lightning Sorcerer is a weird class because there's not really a rotation. It works on a priority system. That is why I've assembled this monstrosity of a bar up here in the left side of my screen for you to take a look at, because this is the priority system for your Lightning Sorcerer. You're going to work from top to bottom here. If it's on cooldown from the top, use it immediately. So let's talk about them. The first three abilities we're going to talk about are our passive damage increase abilities, called Polarity Shift, which gives you 20% Alacrity, and then because of the set bonus we're taking, it's going to give us 20% extra damage as well. So it's a massive DPS increase for 20 seconds. Massive, massive increase. We want to be using this on cooldown as much as possible. It is a huge increase to our damage. We want to be spamming it as much as possible. To help us spam it as much as possible, we have Force Speed. Force Speed does give us a base movement speed, which is kind of nice for kiting people in PvP. However, it also decreases the cooldown of our Polarity Shift by 5 seconds, which is very nice because Polarity Shift is a huge difference maker. It also causes the next damaging ability that we cast to do 20% extra damage. So huge, huge extra damage boost for our actually damaging abilities. It is a passive, but very high priority in our priority system. The one I don't have on this actual tree is our Recklessness here, because it doesn't really sync well with the rest of the rotation. Recklessness gives you 2 stacks of basically auto crits and also super crits if your ability is automatically critting. You basically want to be using it on cooldown with some of our harder hitting abilities, which we will talk about in a hot second. Alright, those are our basic passive damage increasing abilities. Let's talk about how we're actually doing our damage. The first ability is going to be Affliction. Affliction is an 18-second long dot that casts over an extended period of time. On its own, it's not very attractive. However, there are a bunch of very important interactions with our other abilities, so we want to have Affliction on the target as much as possible, which is helped because multiple abilities in our rotation actually refresh the duration of Affliction. So you can see here, if I cast Affliction on the target and then I cast Chain Lightning on it, it's going to automatically refresh the duration of Affliction. The same goes for Crushing Darkness. If you cast Crushing Darkness on the target, it's going to refresh the duration of Affliction every time it ticks. Affliction will be on your target every single time. If you switch target, apply Affliction first. It's only 1 GCD, and it makes your entire rotation flow a lot better, so always have it on the target. That's your first rule. Always apply Affliction on the target. The second rule is cast Thundering Blast on cooldown. Thundering Blast is a ability that doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, right? It only says it does 13,000 damage. Why is that so important? It's important because when you cast it on a target that has Affliction on it, it's going to auto crit every time. So it's not just doing that 13,000, it's doing 34,000, or with Recklessness, it's going to be doing like 44,000. It does a lot of damage very quickly. It's an auto crit, and we just want it to be casted on cooldown every single time. It's going to proc other abilities in our rotation. That's very important. So the actually casting abilities, Thundering Blast, most important ability you could possibly be casting. With that out of the way, we have our second primary interaction with our Lightning Flash, Crushing Darkness, and Shock. Lightning Flash is an instantly cast ability that causes your Crushing Darkness to have a shorter cast time. So what you want to be doing is that when you cast Lightning Flash, you're going to see Crushing Darkness is glowing, cast Crushing Darkness almost immediately, and then cast Shock while Crushing Darkness is on the target. Shock does 35% more damage when you cast it on a target that has Crushing Darkness on it, so you really only want to be using Shock right after you use Crushing Darkness. Don't bother spending Shock anywhere else in your rotation, only spend it after your Crushing Darkness. Finally, we have Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning, I see so many people hard casting this ability. If I see you hard casting this ability after you see this guide, I'm going to hurt you and then I'm going to hurt myself. because you should never, ever, ever be hard casting Chain Lightning unless you're opening a fight. If you were in the middle of combat and are hard casting Chain Lightning, rethink your choices. Please. It is a monstrous 2.5 second cast time that could be spent on other abilities when you already should be having instant cast procs because of our other abilities. Chain Lightning does a moderate amount of damage in a splash, so it can affect up to 8 players at once, or 8 targets at once for your PvE people. And it is a great amount of damage that we're only going to be using when we're using our instant cast procs. If all of these abilities are on cooldown, you're going to fill with Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is a 1.5 second cast time, very basic damaging ability. Not very sexy, but it's a good filler when you need it. So, let's talk about some of the interactions now. You may have heard me ranting about how you should never, ever, ever be hard casting Chain Lightning. If you do, I'm going to hurt you. That is because when we cast our Thundering Blast, Chain Lightning is going to glow. Glowing is usually good in TOR, because now we can instant cast Chain Lightning for free. It is a considerable amount of damage. It is one of our primary interactions with the way Lightning Sword is working. Another interaction that we have here is that when we cast Force Speed, you're going to notice that our Lightning Bolt starts to glow. Typically, Lightning Bolt is a 1.5 second cast. However, Lightning Bolt can also be casted instantly if we have 2 stacks of Force Speed. So let me rephrase that. When you cast Force Speed, you're going to get these 2 stacks that you're going to cast Lightning Bolt instantly. This isn't actually a DPS increase because of the way GCDs work. It's 1.5 seconds for a GCD and it's 1.5 second cast time. However, you can activate it on the move, which is very nice. That is the basics of how the priority system works. It's hard to demonstrate it in a reasonable way because it's very much juggling plates. So what I would do if you're looking to learn this priority system is I would sit down and build this tree and then just cast on a dummy for as much as you want until you feel comfortable in understanding how the priority system works. Again, that is apply all your passive buffs, so your Polarity Shifts, your Force Speed, your Recklessness. Have Affliction on the target at all times. Thundering Blast, your most important ability, always use it. The chain of Lightning Flash, Crushing Darkness, and Shock, and Chain Lightning following that. Thundering Blast is the most important ability, always be using it. Now you can see here, things are starting to get a little wonky in our priority system. Okay, so we want to be casting Thunderous Blast first, and now moving down the priority system, okay, we can cast Chain Lightning, but now we can cast Lightning Bolt because nothing else is on cooldown. Now we can cast Thunderous Blast, Lightning Flash, Crushing Darkness, Shock, Chain Lightning, Fill because nothing's on cooldown, Thunderous Blast. Oh, we can cast our Chain Lightning because nothing else is on cooldown above in the priority system. We're going to work our way down our middle rotation. You can see why it's hard to explain. You just kind of have to get in there and start casting on your own and learning how the different abilities interact with each other by running down this priority system over and over and over again. I wish I could help you more than that, but you're just going to have to sit down at a dummy. If you don't have one in your ship, you can go to the fleet. There are practice dummies on the Gav Daragon and the Xayah Shadow for you to use. Please, please, please take time and actually figure out the priority system for yourself, because I can't explain it to you better than showing you what it is and letting you free. Let's talk about our gear and our set bonus. One thing to note, that is a major difference between PvE and PvP. PvP, you do not need any accuracy because forced attacks don't miss in PvP. So we are going to abandon all accuracy in PvP. If you're in PvE, you're going to want that 110% accuracy because you will miss in PvE. The set bonus that we're using is the Gathering Storm set bonus, which is going to give us all those extra damage because of our Polarity Shift and the shortened cooldown with our Force Speed, so it's very nice. The tactical that we're going to be running here is Stormwatch, which makes our Crushing Darkness do a lot more damage when we use it after our Lightning Flash. You can see here Lightning Flash leaves this Stormwatch debuff, so that when I cast Crushing Darkness, it's going to summon all these bullets from the sky to do a lot of damage. This is a computer killer, so if you do not have a good computer, you might want to look at a different tactical here, because it will absolutely chunk down your FPS, because that's just what Stormwatch does. Looking at our tacticals now, we're going to be using Sith Defiance and Empty Body almost always because it's a very useful utilities that are always going to be useful to you. In PvE, you're going to swap out Torturous Tactics for Tempest Mastery for the extra damage of Force Storm. However, in PvP, we're going to take Torturous Tactics for the lessened DPS every time that we electrocute someone, which is very nice. Suppression, we'll talk about our DCDs in a hot second here. Suppression is going to give us 25% damage reduction after we use Cloud Mind. Lightning Barrier here is going to cause any enemies to take damage when they're attacking when you have Barrier up. Again, we'll talk about DCDs in a second. Surging Speed gives us reduced cooldown and force speed, which is very handy. Corrupted Barrier is going to give us a lot of passive healing whenever we have our barrier on us or are bubbled. Shapeless Spirit gives us a lot less damage when we are stunned. In PvP, you die in stuns a lot, so having the extra DR is very handy. And then in PvE and in PvP, you're going to have a lot of AoE damage, so having the less damage taken from AoE effect is very nice. And finally, Force Mobility is very handy because you can cast Thunderous Blast on the move. It makes us one of the most mobile casters in the game, if not the most mobile caster in the entire game. Let's talk about our DCDs, because Stork DCDs are kind of weird. The primary DCD that everyone should be familiar with by now is called Static Barrier. Static Barrier gives us this absorb barrier that you surround yourself with, and it lasts for 30 seconds, but the problem is that when you use it, you get this deionized buff, which means you cannot cast barrier on yourself until this debuff goes away. So you can see here the debuff goes away. I can now recast barrier on myself. You almost always want to have your barrier on you, especially in PvP, because it is an absorb. It's very handy, and then based on the utilities that we've taken, it's going to be giving us passive healing, and it's going to be damaging any enemies that attack us. The second damage reducing DCD here is going to be Cloud Mind. Cloud Mind is going to give us that 25% DR for 6 seconds, so if you're getting tunneled or someone's really hopped into you, they want you dead, use your Cloud Mind and get that extra 25% DR. It's not much, but it beats poke in the eye. But our main defensive really isn't in our defensives. It's in our range and our mobility and our ability to get away. Sorcerers have this ability called Phase Walk. So if I set down my Phase Walk over here and run away, you can see if I'm within 60 meters of where I set down this Phase Walk, I'm going to be able to teleport back to that Phase Walk for the next 10 minutes. So now if I click Phase Walk again, boof, it has teleported me away. You want to set your Phase Walk up in PvP back behind your own lines so you can phase out and kind of reset and heal yourself up and get ready to go back in. And in PvE, you want to be setting it up so that when you have to move for mechanics, you can just boop, Phase Walk away, and then be ready to rock and roll immediately instead of having to run there. The other mobility defensive that we have is Force Speed, but we should be using that on cooldown. It's basically free kiting, very handy. In case of emergency, so you're getting tunneled, you don't have any way to escape, you can always Force Barrier. Force Barrier is the immune ability that is very obnoxious. You click it, and then for 8 seconds you are immune. No one can touch you. They just have to basically sit there and stare at you and then wonder what they can do with their life. And then you pop out, and then they nuke you immediately. However, if you need to survive for like 8 seconds and you hope your team can come and rescue you, Force Barrier is a great way to do it. That is the very basics of Sorcerer when it comes to DPS. Again, it's a priority system, so you really have to kind of sit down and get used to it yourself. Just remember, have Affliction on the target, Thunderous Blast on cooldown. Lightning, Crushing, and Shock is a great little mid-rotation combo. Never hard cast Chain Lightning, and roll from there. Fill with Lightning Bolt, etc. We're going to hop into a PvP match now to kind of show off how this all kind of plays together. It's going to be kind of difficult to explain how the different abilities are interacting with each other and how I'm spending them in the middle of combat. However, hopefully you can get a better idea of positioning and defensive cooldowns and priority targeting that way. So give me 2 seconds, we'll hop into a match. All right, so we got a Hypergate, which is going to be good for us. Hopefully you can show off some of what we're thinking here. It's not going to be really much a talk of the damage rotation that we're running through, more of a talk of what my thought process is as we're actually doing it. I'm not sure that's a good thing for you because my thought process is very squirrel-oriented. However, we'll talk through what I'm thinking and what we're going to be doing next and why I'm doing and when I'm doing it. So first thing I'm going to do back here is I'm going to set up my phase walk back behind this little barrier here. That way, if I get tunneled or nuked, I can teleport away. As you can see, everyone here with the phase walk is doing it. So that way, it must be the cool thing to do. We have a healer here. I'm going to let my entire team kind of run up there first. And now we're going to start casting on the first guy that pops in here because he's bold and brave and he should die like a real hero. He's reflecting on us, so we're going to teleport. Okay, here is our healer. We're going to mark him up, and now we're going to start the cast arena on him. Once my my frames decide to cooperate again, we're going to tunnel this guy down because healers are where it's at when it comes to PvP. It looks like they have 2 healers that I saw, but we can only take care of one at a time, so we will do what we can. You can see here that Stormwatch must be prevalent in this game because my computer is chugging right now, but that's okay. We should get this guy down relatively quickly here. Now we can progress on to the next healer, which is this guy right here. I'm pretty sure that there he is. So I'm going to end up marking him as well. I don't have a second mark target or a hotbar here, so we're just going to put them down with flame and then call it a day. He's done. Zony. Let's look for the easier target of the 2. I think this other Juggernaut, Klein, already blew all his DCDs. However, we have the healer back, so we can just cast on him. I was probably sitting on my Polarity Shift for a hot second there instead of actually casting it, which is a real shame. However, we're back. The CC is fine. I'm actually okay with this. Oh, we don't have a pylon. That's very not good. I was not paying attention. I was too busy channeling into healers. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're just going to take down these healers. I don't think we're going to get this pylon back. However, it's early in the game. It's not the end of the world if we don't have a pylon immediately. Hopefully we can draw the rest of their team back here into theirs. That gives gives our team time to go back and cap ours. But it doesn't look like we've done that. It looks like we've all come here to try to cast instead, which is perfectly fine. We'll just have to get these points back later, which we might possibly do. We kind of have a lot of DPS on this team. Now they do have a couple healers, which is going to be going to mean that we have a bit of a problem getting extra points by killing people. However, it's not the end of the world. Just tunneling into healers here, hoping to take this guy down. We want to get him down before the pylon gets him, because pylon points or pylon kills do not count as points for your team. If you die to pylon, you do not lose any points. So, if you are worried, oh, I got my my thingamadoogle there, conquest. All right, so we gotta take care of this guy real quick. Okay, never mind. He's gonna take care of us. It looks like we're all just going to go theirs instead. This might just be a damage firing game for most people. I think we have someone going ours, but honestly, it's okay either way. I'm not that particular. We do have 35 meters of range. We can kind of get out here and stop this guy from capping for a little while. We'll see if he wants to blow any DCDs here. It looks like he doesn't really want to. He wasn't expecting the turbo burst. If only he did, then perhaps he would have lived longer. He's popping Reflect now, so I'm going to pop my Force Storm. Okay, it looks like we had a pylon and then immediately threw it away, which is fine. I'm just going to finish churning through this guy first so he doesn't get a chance to heal up. And now we'll get back to the action here on healers. Just channeling through our priority system here. Give a little bit of the bonk, a little bit of the burr, as we do. Sitting this healer, doesn't look like we have a lot of damage right now, which is kind of a shame. He's also guarded, which means I should probably be looking for a different healer to go on. Probably this guy right here. So let's prepare the bonk. Bonk is engaged. Just continuing to cast on these healers. It's going to get a little slow here for a while, especially when they have so many heals. They also have a tank here, which makes things a bit of a problem for us. Hopefully we can just buy our team enough time back at our pylon so that they can actually cap it up. I'm going to swap actually their tank here. We do have some dots, which makes burning through tanks easier. And then I've taken a couple of the armor penetration amplifiers too, which helps me burn through tanks faster. But now their entire team is back. So this whole operation just got a little more hairy. It's looking worse and worse for our prospects to win this game. But at the same time, that's perfectly okay. It's only regs. If you don't win a regs game, no one has ever died from not winning a regs game. Engage the bonk. Bonk engaged. It looks like their tank might be a skank tank because of the way we were able to chunk through him before. So I think what we're going to do is that once we get the one healer down, we're going to switch over to the tank from moving forward. Just based on the way we've been able to chunk through him so far. He might not even be a full tank. Oh, no, he is. Never mind. But we've been able to put some work done into him. So we will go him next round. We're going to force speed our way back into here if we can get there. I'm not sure we're going to. It's going to be very, very close. Nope, we didn't get there, which is totally fine. Again, it doesn't count against us for points, and then we can just hop back down here out of pylon and get back to their pylon as fast as humanly possible. If I had broken that CC a second earlier, I would have been able to get out of there, but we didn't, and that's okay. We're going to give our operative the go-ahead here to get up there and murder that man. You can see here we took out 35% of his entire health bar with a single GCD, which is just ridiculous. And it's why we like to engage massive burst whenever possible. Now, he does have his cooldowns up, which is a bit of a problem for us. And I believe he has a full heal on him right now, so I don't think we're going to get through him. Keep casting this guy a couple more seconds. See if we can get one more cooldown out of him. Alright, we just swap back over to this healer. It looks like our sniper's casting on this healer, which gives us extra time to burr into him. Hopefully do a little wombo combo action here with a marksman sniper and nuke him on down. Or maybe he's just going to live for 1,000 years because he has two healers over here. And there's no way we can get this pylon. But instead we'll get back on this healer and hopefully nuke him down. Never mind. He is bubbled, which is good. Bubble is always good to force out a healer. But now we can engage a little bit of the burst. We're just going to hold them off in this pylon and hope that the rest of our team can get over there and put some real work in. It looks like they are alive at our pylon, which is good. I know this healer doesn't have a bubble, so we're going to be tunneling into him when I'm not getting interrupted so rudely. Popping some of our passive self-heals here to help us stay alive. They don't have a lot of DPS on their team, and we have enough heals on our team to kind of take care of everything. However, it's always good to help out your healer, especially if you have like empty GCDs when you would be using like Lightning Blast, or what's this ability called? Lightning Bolt. That's not Lightning Blast. So it's good to be kind of helping out your healers once in a while because they need your help. Healers in 6.0 are very weak compared to what they used to be. So just, you know, be helping out your healers. Back into casting into these guys. We do have a good chunk of their team here, so I'm really hoping that our team can pull something out of the hat and get our pylon. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case though, but that's perfectly fine. We just got to keep buying time for our team so that hopefully eventually they can cap the pylon and call it a day. This guy's going to heal to full because he has all the stacks on him. I'm just going to come back out here and cast on this dude instead. Never mind, I'm going to be CC'd. I'm going to break the CC out of fear of getting into the pylon. I probably should let this guy come into the node here instead of CCing him there. But my the urge to kill people with pylon was too strong. I could not resist. So what we'll do then instead is I'll hopefully pull these guys off over here and hold them up for just a little while longer and not let them get to their own pylon. Alright, that's 40. We're going to bubble right now. Can these guys CC this man? Okay, we got one. Nice. Alright, we got a pylon, which is good. Very good news for us. Now we just need to hold on to this pylon for as long as possible and not let them get it up. I'm going to be targeting down DPS here because I'm thinking that our own DPS are going to be targeting their healers, which is good. But we also need to slow down their their DPS so that they are not channeling into our single healer and losing it, or losing our health bar. Back into this juggernaut, give him a little bit of the burst. And if we can chunk people down here, that's the way we're going to get back into this game. It's not going to be through capping more pylon. It's just going to be by having more kills, which you can see we're slowly burning into. We only have one healer over here at the moment. I'm going to slow down Hold up, there's a Murky. Let's see with Reflect on. Okay, this guy has Reflect. We're going to hold off, and now we're going to burst. He does have his energy shield up, so I don't think we're going to get through that in time, so we're going to swap off of him and go back onto this this healer right here. Because casting the healers is what you do as DPS. If you're not casting the healers all the time, have a reason for it. And there are occasional reasons to not be casting the healers. For example, if you think you can kill their DPS, very useful. That guy is running all over the place here. I'm hoping we can get this guy down with a little bit of crushing. Okay, that's fine. I just gotta watch Pylon over there to make sure that they aren't doing anything silly. All right, Klein is guarding this guy, so we're gonna kind of run away here very heroically and chunk into him a little bit. All right, there was a mercenary over here that did not have his Reflect up anymore and might not have an energy shield. All right, there's his energy shield, which makes me think there's a different mercenary, but it might not be the same. It might be the same one, and he might just have gotten it back because he's taking rebounders. You never know. At least I don't know at the moment because I have the memory of a goldfish. All right, let's roll out here. Oh, thanks, bud. Well, that was less helpful. Okay, this is fine. I'm just going to run into Pylon here. Again, you don't lose points for dying to Pylon. So we're just going to die and then run back out. It's not worth spending your CC breaker on. You want to save your CC breaker for something a little more important, like a hard stun, when you're in the middle of getting tunneled. So let's see if we can't get this work done. If this guy wants to CC that guy, CC that Merc, CC that Merc, CC that Merc. Yes, good CC. Any more CCs in chat? Yeah, there are. Nice. We're gonna murder this man because he came to the wrong neighborhood. Bonk, 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 bonk. Alright, that's good. Alright, this sniper looks like he wants to sit here, so we're gonna put down our phase walk and then go help out at mid. It kind of depends on... It isn't like they've gone to our pylon. Okay, they just took our pylon, which is good. That means we are sitting pretty in mid. We can help out and murder this man right here. Prepare the bonk. Bonk engaged. He is a tank, and now he's not a tank. He's a dead man. So we're going to grab an orb here. It doesn't look like they're coming back in mid anytime soon, so we're going to grab an orb, and then we're going to whoosh away. It's important to note that orbs disappear if you phase walk. You can't phase walk back into... Oh, I should not have broken that. I only saw at the last second that he was sapped. That is my bad, dude. Absolutely my bad. However, we're going to run some orbs, get some points back in the team. Boom. You can see that orbs score more points the longer you're in here. Looks like this guy wants to chase down our healer, so that means that he's all alone. Oh, he's CCing me. That's fine. Let's murder this man. Oh, he's going to reflect. That's cool. Now he should be done zoning. Never mind, he's going to heal to full because he has ED left. That's fine. After this, though, I don't think he has anything left. He's used Reflect. He's used ED. He might have Saber Ward left, but again, that's not the end of the world. Not a lot of damage out of, or DR comes out of Saber Ward. There we go. More points for us. Let's go. I think I see someone here trying to cap orbs, which is a shame, but hopefully we can stop him from getting back to the pylon in time and kind of slow down their orb production here. And by slow down, I mean maybe we can just freaking delete this man. There we go. Orb slowed. Couldn't quite get there when it came to our actual points. However, if we cap one pylon, we should be in the lead here. We just need to not get double capped again, and we will walk away with the dub. I think we're going to die to pylon here. We're just going to sacrifice ourselves again to the pylon gods, so that way when we do pop back out, it's going to be not in combat. We're just going to dot everyone up here. Okay, good. We're going to run back to their pylon as fast as humanly possible and hopefully grab the W. This operative looks like she's going to run that away. Good. Let's keep up the CCs, boys. Keep up the CCs. Operative's going to sap that Juggernaut, which is good. That sniper's going to cap, which is also good. I'm going to push these guys back. These guys back. Okay, they have people here, which is less good. We're going to spend all our offensive cooldowns, hopefully nuke up this operative, which is apparently the reason that we've been losing so many pylons. However, we have a good chunk of their team here, which is very nice. We have 2 people back at our pylon, hopefully taking care of business. I see 1 healer here. I don't know where their other healer is, which is a bit of a problem. Now, we have 2 healers as well, so hopefully that means that our second healers are back at our pylon, stopping them from capping and calling it a day. I'm going to get down to this healer because it looks like we're not going to get through that operative anytime soon. At least we're not putting enough pressure onto the healer to stop the operative from getting healed to full. So we're just going to apply a massive amount of burst. Now hopefully our team is just going to get on the pylon here, which means that we can nuke this guy. Nice. Very nice. Okay, we're going to set up a phase walk back here. Okay, sniper's going back. That's good. You can nuke this man. Stop him from doing anything stupid or foolish. He appears to have embraced his fate, and his fate is death. So, you know, good for him. At least know he knows. I'm going to grab a pylon here, or an orb. And then that'll just end the game. Now, we could do something a little dastardly here. It looks like this guy is going to score orbs. But I want to score the orbs. So I'm going to pull him and then take the orbs for myself. Yoink. My... And we won the game. And that's how you do it. GG, boys. GG. So that's how you do Lightning Sorcerer. That was kind of my thought process about the entire thing. Again, it's hard to explain the actual damage abilities. It's more of a thought process, verbal vomit at you. And I hope you enjoyed it. So go out and burr some people with Lightning Sword. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. If any questions, leave it down in the description below. I'll also link a guide down there from Volk, which is very handy. Goes into a lot of details that I glossed over because, again, I'm not an expert, but those guys are. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, you guys have a great day.